So this is take three. We have two dogs. My little dog, his name is Opie off of Sons of Anarchy. He keeps walking past and decided to bump the tripod. Anyway, I am approaching 9,000 books, and one of the things I'm looking at this summer, well, a couple things, is get a handle on my collection. What is it that brings me joy that I really want to collect? You know, obviously my Batman run is going to be kind of the centerpiece. There's a couple other runs also, Fantastic Four, Captain America, things like that. And what are aspects of my collection that meant something when I read them, but now I'm not rereading it, or it was just a FOMO buy. I belonged to a Facebook group for a couple years before the pandemic, and there's some books I picked up just because of that. Hi, this is James for Read More Comics. As I laid out in the intro, I am going to be organizing my comic collection. So I want to kind of walk you through the process I'm taking as I'm trying to reduce my almost 9,000 book collection. There's my dog again. Make a decision, man. To something far more manageable. I'd like to reduce it if possible by 20%. That doesn't sound like a lot, but you figure 20% out of almost 9,000 books. What is that? That's like, that's close to like 13 short boxes. That's a lot of comics. So I'm hoping I can do that. Let's go ahead and get started on one of the book boxes I'm looking at right now. All right, so I have one of my short boxes right here. This is my Red Sonja box. It's box number 20. And my process has a kind of a few steps to it. First, I looked at what was in the box. I did kind of a cursory glance, and there are definitely some books in here I want to keep. I do look at a couple different resources. I'm going to look at, and these aren't resources like I'm taking one and going like, well, this is it. You know, I want to kind of triangulate my data. So with this particular collection, and this is all Dynamite Red Sonja books, which is definitely going to skew the decisions I'm making. I'm going to call a lot of this box. That's what I'm anticipating. So I'm going to be looking at some online sources. I've looked at eBay sold listings to see what has value in itself. I've looked at Key Collector, and I even went to ChatGPT and I said, hey, I have Dynamite books. What should I look at for value? And I'm really going to look at two things. One is value. What is going to be a long-term collectible? Because I am reaching a point where when my collection is passed on, whether it's my kids or my wife or whatever, I want what I have to have some value. Either they can decide to keep it or they decide to sell it, but it's an asset then. And then I'm also looking at readability. Is this a book or title or run or story that I want to go back to and read again? So let's go ahead and open this up. Now we start out, we have issue number 0. I have no idea what volume this is for, so I'm going to be honest with you, I don't recognize the artist. Gabriel Hardman, 2014. This title of Red Sonja as a Dynamite character was a total FOMO subscription about, it was before the pandemic. I belonged to a Facebook comic book group. There were some guys that read Red Sonja. I went, oh, I'll read Red Sonja too. I really like Conan. And I found that the Red Sonja stories are very interchangeable. There didn't seem to be any canon to the story. There didn't seem to be any kind of long-term arcs or connections between volumes, and so I've kind of dropped it. I like sword and sorcery, that genre of fantasy, but you know, this is not something I'm going to look at keeping. I know the first volume I got into, and I'm going to pull this out. These are going to be keepers. So this is Gail Simone's run on Red Sonja, and this is all, let's that back a little bit. This is all Jennie Frison. So I have 2 issues of two copies of it. Issue 1. This is the reprint. You can tell because it's kind of a grayscale. We got issue 2. This is something I did actually go through, and I made sure I had all the Jennie Frison covers for this run. It's only 18 issues, but they're absolutely gorgeous covers. And this is one thing that does have some long-term value, because I think this is when she kind of exploded as an artist. It's kind of looking at Art Germ. His Supergirl books, I think, is when he kind of really came into his own and onto the scene. I'd love to get some of these signed. That would be super cool. Let's see what we got here. Issue number 13. So these are all keepers. I'm going to put these over here. And then we have 14, 15, 16, 17, and this is the last issue. So those are all keepers. Next, this is interesting. So CLZ sees this as the next volume. It's a dollar reprint, and I thought it was no, but it's I don't know if it's the print run or what it is, but this is a really expensive book. eBay sold listings. I don't know what it was. I remember at the time this was like a $30 book, you know, for a reprint. Issue number 1, first print of Simone's volume, is really hard to find. I think it's just the print run is just small. And then we have the next volume. I don't know anything about this. This was just one I was kind of piecing together. And there's nothing really here that I'm going like, oh, I should keep. Amy Chu's run, I haven't read it, but what I remember seeing, I'm just looking at covers now, seeing if Red Sonja goes to the present day, which doesn't sound that interesting to me, honestly. I remember Conan doing that back in the Marvel, what was it? Was it a What If? So all of Amy Chu's run. Okay, we have some. Yeah, my LCS was having some sales, and I remember bulking up on these. They were like buy 20 for $20 or something. So we got the cosplayer variants. So just trying to finish the run. I'm looking for any Alex Ross, any Jennie Frison. This is like a really long run. Look at that, 22, 23. Maybe I should read this. I'm missing some books in this, so I'm not. Okay, so that's all of that. And this is all gonna go. I'm not keeping any of this. Oh, I hate that when it does that. So we look at it, we already have a lot of space. So this next run, I'll be honest, I remember buying this at a different LCS. The only reason I continued with Red Sonja was Frank Cho. So I'm going to keep this. I have a Frank Cho selection in one of my other boxes. And let's see what these 2 books are. Here we have another Frank Cho cover, right? Frank Cho, yep, Cho down there. For the Grunbeck run was actually kind of interesting, so I'll probably keep that. This is In-hyuk Lee, and I have no idea what he was thinking with this. It is not that good a cover, so I'm not keeping that. Let's see what we got next. So this is the next run, and I'm just looking for who is. So these are a bunch of listener covers. Listener. That's kind of cool, right? Another listener cover. I don't know who the listener. Okay. I got a bunch of listener covers there. And 12. And then we go over to Jay Lee, and he had this really cool run on it. Okay, so this is what I need to do, because there was I think it was Mark Russell. He did a volume, and it was really good. And so I want to keep that because I'll read the story. Let's see who we got here. The Crossing. Yep, Mark Russell. So I'm going to keep this volume for the story. And that's pretty much how it's going to go. It's either going to be I'm keeping it for the story, or I'm keeping it because the cover has some value. Like, I like the Frank Cho cover here. These are really cool looking issues. So, you know, I'm going to keep those, but let's put that back. So, goes through issue number 24. So I'm going to keep that. I like that. And then Mirka Indolfo did a volume, and I liked that story too. It's kind of low key. So it had a tie-in though. I'm not going to keep the tie-in. I didn't find that to be really engaging. So Mirka. Here's the torn Grumbeck run I was talking about. So we got a Jennie Frison cover. And then this is a Bjorn Berens who did the art on this. I need one of those sidekick things, but I'm using all of them. Here, let me adjust this. So I'm going to keep the Frisian cover, but look at that. Like, there is an emotion in his cover work that is just astounding. And his entire cover run on this was amazing. Like, this is what attracted my attention to this volume, was Bjorn Berens. So I'm going to keep these. And I think this is the volume that Frank Cho came from. I'm going to put him somewhere else. And that goes all the way to here. So with this last issue, he did do issue number 1, but it was a ratio cover, so I'm going to get that. So you see the gist of it. I'm going to stop right here with this and just kind of finish organizing this box, and then I'll come back and show you what I did. All right, so I'm back. At this point, I've gone through the box, and you can see there's a fair third of the box. So we're looking at 40 or more issues of Red Sonja that I've culled from this. I found that I had a lot of duplicates from the Simone run in the back, kind of as a spacer, but they weren't duplicates of the Jennie Frison books. They were other variant covers, which I have no interest in. So I'm keeping the Simone run. I'm keeping Mark Russell's run because it was a really enjoyable story. And the Jay Lee covers near the tail end of it are sick. Mirka Indolfo's run was also very enjoyable. And the Grumbeck run, fun story. It's really, though, about the covers. And if I get, I just need the one cover, the ratio variant, issue number 1, and I have all Bjorn Berens run stuff. The stuff in the back, let me move this. Sorry about jostling that. So Red Sonja Red, was it Black, White, and Red, is an anthology series. Didn't realize that I have a signed variant. I have no idea where that came from. These were really kind of enjoyable. It's all black and white with red, which is obviously going to be blood in her hair. Got some cool covers for that. And then this is both an amazing story. It's about Red Sonja encountering a village of zombies, or that's being attacked by zombies. Don't quite remember, but the covers are by Josh Middleton. This is a Josh Middleton cover, and so that's one of the reasons why I kept that. I think this clearly shows Josh Middleton's work right there. That is awesome. And this is something Dynamite does a lot of. They'll have all these one-shots and stuff like this. This is Jack and the Beanstalk, except it's Red Sonja and the Beanstalk. So it's kind of a fun thing. This was a tie-in to the Mark Russell run, so I'm going to keep that. And then I really kind of dig these holiday books. And this is not just kind of a Red Sonja thing. I do it with DC also. I just like the Christmas type books or whatever. This one is Liam Sharp art. It's very sick. Liam Sharp is an artist I'm starting to track a little bit more. This is a Price of Blood mini series. Just has these stellar covers, and the artist, I can't pronounce it, Soyadam. He was at my local Comic-Con. I didn't go to it, but if he shows up again, I'll have those. Holiday cover. This is a series I want to finish. So Frank Cho helped with the writing, and he also did all the covers. So this is Red Sonja. And then we see the same thing right here. These are our Frank Cho covers. And so I'm going to keep those too. Oh, and this Savage Tales, this is actually a Halloween issue. So another holiday cover. So just by going through that and focusing on two things, value, and that's really just the Jennie Frison art on the Gail Simone volume, or stories that interest me or artists that interest me. That's it. I was able to cut out a bunch of stuff, and moving forward, there's only a couple books I need to finish some runs, and I'm pretty set with Red Sonja. I'm not going to continue subbing for it because I kind of see where Dynamite goes with this. They produce a volume, they wash, rinse, repeat, produce a volume. There's no connections from one volume to the next. So thanks for listening. Hope this helped out. Leave a comment down below. If you enjoy listening to me ramble on about comic books, please like, share, subscribe. And don't forget, life is so much better when we read more comics.